Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. I'm Steve, and today we're going to put a new exhaust on this 1957 Oliver OC3 track loader. Dang, that's a mouthful. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's absolutely free and ensures you get to see more content on this crawler along with other projects we have going on. Alright, so if you remember the old exhaust that was on here, it was pretty much this. It's a straight pipe. There's a exhaust manifold down here, which I'll show you in a second, but basically you just had an extension pipe coming up through the hood, and then this bent elbow macaroni looking thing kind of slid over there, and it's just all cobbled together. I mean, this is two pieces welded, this is two pieces welded, it's cracked. The only fortunately good thing about it was the fact that they did in fact put this, I said fact like 17 times, but that they put this little hoop on here, and that is basically to keep rain from going down in the exhaust and ruining the engine. So at least that was there. Surprisingly, this thing really wasn't that loud, not having a muffler on it, but I do want a muffler on here to make it a little bit quieter because I am in a neighborhood setting, and I got a rain cap to go on there as well. So just kind of show you what we got and we'll throw it together. Not sure how well you're going to see this, but as you can see, this is the stock exhaust manifold. It's a straight 4 Oliver, and at the top up here is the pipe that comes out of the manifold. The measurement from this, from the outside across 180 degrees, is 1 3/4 inches. Now the reason I tell you that is because I googled to see what size pipe I needed, and everything was wrong. I saw anything from 1 7/8, 2 inch, 2 1/4. So, and that's on like major tractor websites, Steiner, a couple other ones. So trust but verify, and that's what I did. So the stock exhaust manifold, 1 3/4 inches outside diameter. And I say that if you've never worked with exhaust pipes before, or any pipe for that matter, you need to know what your inside and outside diameters are to ensure things fit together properly. Alright, so I'm going to show you what we have here for parts. This is a 1 3/4 inside diameter by 18 inch tailpipe extension. That's what we're going to use for our riser from the top of the manifold up. So this 1 3/4 inside diameter is the inside diameter of this flanged part. So it's a little bit wider here than it is up here, and that's so that you can connect another 1 3/4 piece to the top if needed. Now, the muffler that I got for it, I got this from Tractor Supply last night. Most of the ones they have there are from Stanley muffler. It's just a common normal muffler. This one here, the part number is FO4. It's made for a Ford. So I'm going to assume a Ford 8N, 9N, 2N, that kind of thing. But it had the correct inlet and outlet size. The outlet really doesn't matter, but the inlet was the same. It's the 1 3/4. So basically I just needed a piece that would connect the 1 3/4 to 1 3/4. This tailpipe extension, you can see how it slides on there like that. The problem is the other end isn't flared. It's the same size. So you run into a predicament where you need to have an adapter of sorts to connect these together. Or what I'm going to do, I went to Harbor Freight, and for $19.99, no sponsor, is this exhaust pipe expander. So I've never used one of these before, but it seems like a handy tool to have. So we'll go ahead and open this up and see what we got. So what this thing's basically supposed to do, instructions, yeah, we don't need those. Basically, this is going to slide inside the smaller end, and then as we thread this, I can show you an example. You can see there's a wedge. Let me make sure this is in the thing. Here we go. Wedge on the top and the bottom. And as you tighten this up, you can see these bars that are in here start to spread apart. And that's going to push out and expand our tailpipe. So supposedly this tool is good for not only expanding, but if you had a kink in here, sometimes when you use a muffler clamp, it'll put a crease or a fold, and by inserting that in, you can make it round again. So basically, I want to make it the same length as this. So I'm just going to stick this in, and that's going to go past. We'll do it out here. That expands. So basically it's the same size of this square barrel. So we'll go ahead and stick this barrel in here, get it kind of close by hand. I've never actually done this before. And let's see if I have a socket out here the size I don't. Let me go get a socket and we'll expand this pipe out a little bit. Alright, we're kind of going on an adventure here by ourselves because I've never done this before. Now, I do want you to keep in mind this exhaust expander. This particular one, 1.5 to 2.5 inches. There is a bigger one that goes up to like 3.5 or 4, but this is the size we need. But just remember, this thing can go up to 2.5 inches. So I don't want to expand this too much. So basically I'll just kind of fiddle with it back and forth and get it to be the right size so that it'll slide over this muffler. Now, when I expand this, the muffler is going to go on the inside of that pipe. Typically you wouldn't want that if this was extended because water could possibly, you know, you want the shingle effect, like shingles on your roof, right? So this muffler you would really want to go on the outside of the pipe, not the pipe on the inside. But two things. One, when it slides up here, it's underneath the umbrella of the muffler, if you will. And two, I always keep it covered. So I think we're going to be just fine. So, all right. Well, let's try this. Let's see if we can mess this up. I only got one of these pipes. So we're just going to do a little bit at a time and see what happens here. I guess I need something to hold that. I can feel it starting to move out. I need to get like some vice grips or something. I mean, I know I can typically hold these things. But yeah, I can feel a little bit of a lip on there. I just need something to hold this, kind of get it in a vise or whatever. All right, I've got some makeshift stuff going on here. I turned my press on the side and I got this thing wedged in here and all kinds of farmer fixes. So let's see if that'll make a difference. Tearing up that side, but it is flaring this side here. Let's see if I can get this back out. I guess I'll fiddle with this and get you back when it's done. It's probably be really easy if I could just had a way to hold this pipe still. You can see it's starting to flare, but now that this part's sticking out, it's kind of making a wedge, which isn't really bad either, but we'll get it, we'll get it. So I was able to get it flared out enough where I could stick the muffler in and kind of hit it down, and you can see it got all the way up to the flange I needed to. And I figured, well, I'll just slide it through the hood and clamp it on the manifold. Well, I forgot I got to cut this pipe. It's too tall. I got to cut it about 8 inches up and flange it again. So now I got to get the muffler off and cut this and try it again. All right, well, what was supposed to be a quick video to show you how to use a new tool turned out to be kind of a pain. But like I said, I think if I had a vise, it would have greatly helped this and it would have worked amazing. It does what it's supposed to do. So I was able to get the extension pipe cut to the right length. I got the end flared out. I was able to insert the muffler in. I got some muffler clamps here. They're going to go on to make sure this doesn't come off. And then I've got the rain cap to go on top as well. So let me go ahead and put this stuff together and we'll start it up and see if it's any quieter. Hey, while I'm thinking of it real quick too, Tractor Supply, it's usually where I get these mufflers from. All different sizes, big, small, whatever. But I've noticed at least the stores by me, they've got everything on clearance and it's half off. This muffler is normally $59.99 and I got it for $29.99. So if you're in the market for a muffler for your tractor, I don't know if they're just changing suppliers or stock or if they're getting rid of them completely. I don't know, but if you need a muffler, go check them out. Maybe they got you a deal, get it half off.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, and normally I don't even waste my time trying to get these stickers off because they don't peel off, but I do coat everything with high temp black, basically just grill paint. I don't have any right now, so I'm not going to be able to do that, but eventually I'll paint this thing, keep it from rusting, and make it look a little better. And I don't know what kind of gearhead you think I'd be to put a muffler on here and show you what it sounds like quiet without showing you first what it sounded like without the exhaust. So here it is. with the no pipe because there's absolutely nothing there. This is a cold start. I haven't started it in a while, so let's see how she does. Not that loud. Oh man, I dinged up the end. Now I gotta expand this one too. Tighten that up. Huh. Now the clamp's sitting on the hood. Gotta love it. Alright, let me take that off. Alright, ninth time's the charm. There we go. Nice. I like it. Fits good on the manifold. We'll put this going forward. Get it centered in the hole. Tighten her down. I didn't want anything with a huge stack because, well, you got to keep it under here. So this is kind of best setup I could find. So I love these rain caps. I'm a big fan. Makes it real easy. You're done working. If it's outside and it starts to rain, you don't have to worry about it. Did I forget to cover it or not? It's good to go. Most of the tractors I have are John Deere's, 2-cylinder, and these things just, especially low idle, just keep making noise all the time, and they're so annoying. I don't think this one's going to be like this. I think once it started, it should pretty much stay up, and you know it'll clank when you shut her down. But all right, let me stop yapping. Let's start it, see if it made a difference. All right, here we go. About the same, it's a little quieter. Hey, so I did take the time to go through and clean out this toolbox this morning, and there were some things of interest in here that you might be able to help me out with. I'm assuming some of these are special tools for this tractor. This looks like some kind of like sounding fork, but I'm sure it's just to get in to hold something. If you're an Oliver guy and you know, let me know, because I am not. This is the first Oliver I've ever had, and I have no idea what any of this stuff is for. I do have the books, so I will look through. I'm sure I'll be able to find that. This looks like some type of spanner. I'm assuming this could even be for, no. These are not good hydraulic cylinders. Let me move you around so you can see here. These are the ones that are a pain in the butt. So this has got like a C-clamp collar in here. I think these ones you have to like push in and then clip together and take out, and this. Yeah, I'm not messing with these. And I know it's kind of dark in there, but you can see it doesn't look like it's wet, like leaking, but there's just so much crud and buildup on there. In fact, I'm gonna take the time to come over here. I'm gonna remove this from the tripod because you gotta see this one. This one's kind of funny. It'll take me a second to climb over here. But down inside here, I'll zoom in so you can see it. That thing, oh my goodness. It's got like an inch of oil, dirt, oil, dirt, oil, dirt layered. That's pretty crazy. So, yep, I'm not going to be rebuilding these cylinders. I'll leave that for somebody else. It doesn't look like, well, I should say they don't look like they drip because everything drips and there's grease everywhere, but we'll see how it goes. I did have a bad experience having a company rebuild the hydraulic cylinders on my Huff payloader. Yeah, Parker, I'm sure you've heard of Parker, AF Parker, PF Parker, you know who they are. They do hoses, valves, cylinders, all that stuff. And it's not even them. I'm not trying to bash that company because I've used them for other things, hoses too. Not the cheapest, but they do have a good product. One of their guys kind of subbed it out to a different company without me knowing. and the price ended up being like 3 times as much as it was supposed to be. And out of the 4 cylinders on that, one of them leaked. When I brought it to them and got it back, they all leaked. So they actually came back worse than they did going in. But that's for another story that I've already told. If you go to my what was it? What was that series I had? Restorations. Anyway, the old stuff that I've done before I did YouTube. There's one in there about the Huff payloader, and I talk about it. So anyway, yeah, there's lots of grease and grime and buildup. I mean, at least they greased everything. I can't complain about that. It's just there's years of stuff on there. So all right, let me get back to this toolbox. This, I don't know. I have no idea. Almost looks like what you would put a die into for tap and die set, but it doesn't have a set screw anywhere on here. So again, not too sure. This I think is just a rubber bushing that I believe goes underneath this battery tray, which brings me to another point. That is the stock location for the battery, and I just don't like it there. It's pretty cramped as it is in here. You can see there's like 2 foot pegs, but my clutch pedal's up here, so my foot's got to be right here next to the battery anyway. I think I might relocate that battery into this toolbox because, well, I don't need a friggin' toolbox, right? So I think I might put the battery in here. Some wrenches, I don't know, there's this piece of wood that probably has absolutely nothing to do with this thing, but who knows, Allen wrenches. So this was the last oddity. So this, I have no idea. On the bottom, there's kind of this shaped hole. If you've ever put an ignition switch in, you'll know that shape. It's kind of flat on 2 sides and round on the top and the bottom. It looks like the bottom of a Coke bottle. It's got those indentations in there. And inside is a Gerber baby food bottle with nothing in it. So obviously that's not original to the tractor, but it's made out of copper, or maybe like a brass, I guess. Anyway, it's interesting. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I know it really wasn't anything too exciting. I'm trying to keep my 1 to 2 weeks ahead and keep the videos going. The weather's starting to warm up, so hopefully I'll be able to get over to Sideshow Bobcat and get the engine, pulled out and start getting it prepped so we can paint. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep tinkering with this thing. Eventually I got to go through and do filters and fluid and all that, which I need to do to all the tractors. I still haven't changed any of the fluids in the Kubota. I still need to do all the fluids in Sweaty Betty. And obviously now I got to get the fluids and filters for this too. So lots of maintenance coming up. You may start seeing some of those videos, and for my normal like every week viewers, you might get a little tired of seeing like just basic maintenance things on these machines. But some of the videos I like to have out there for educational stuff for people who are searching how to do whatever on a OC3 or a John Deere MT or a Kubota B7100, because that's kind of really why I even started this channel, was to try to help people with those things, because I know I've searched YouTube for all kinds of how-to videos. So today there are some things I do want to do on here cosmetically. On the front of the grill here, there's a pipe that's smashed in and it's welded on there at the top and the bottom. I have no idea what that's for. I don't want it on there. On the front here, there's a metal plate with a bow to it that's got a pipe on there. The previous owner that I got this from used to set a reel of, I think, barbed wire, and he'd hook it up and then back up and it would unravel it. So that's going to come off. I'm not sure if I want to grind these welds and just take the whole thing off, or maybe just kind of cut the end here and drill a hole. I can put shackles on. I kind of like having something in the middle to pick things with. And I also plan on getting the plates that go on the end that have the chain hook and the D-ring hook. So once I get those and put those in, this one will probably end up getting cut off. I like for things to look kind of uniform and symmetrical. It's kind of the OCD thing. Inside this brush guard, there is no front grill on this machine. And the reason being is because there's a hydraulic pump there that's coupled with a double chain Lovejoy coupling to the crank. So it wouldn't fit, I'm assuming, with the factory grill. So there is no factory grill under here. So this brush guard is going to stay. It's also nice, it really does protect the radiator from branches or anything. But But there is this piece of angle iron at the top that's not supposed to be there. I think it looks terrible. It already looks kind of Mad Max with this thing on here as it is, but my intention was to grind this off. But I realized, I think the reason they put this on here was so that you could lift the loader arms up and put a piece of pipe, you know, heavy duty pipe across, and set the arms back on it so that when you're working on the engine, you can actually access anything. Right now the bucket's tilted forward kind of on the cutting edge, so this arm's up higher than it normally would be. But if the bucket was flat or rolled back, these arms would pretty much kind of cover both sides of the engine, and it makes it hard to change filters and do maintenance. So as terrible as that looks, I think I'm going to leave it for now. I might just kind of cut these ends off and kind of blend it in a little, make it look a little more like it's supposed to be there. But I think that's going to be a handy thing to have. This has got to be 1/4 inch steel. It's solid, and on each side there's 3 bolts that are bolted to the frame. So I trust that it's going to hold the arms up in the event I need to get in there. Because other than that, there's really nothing. You don't ever want to work on anything with the loader up. Obviously, if there's a hydraulic failure, you could get injured or killed, and that's not what we're looking for here. So I think I'm going to leave it on there. Like I said, I'll just clean it up, but I'm going to do that stuff. I might show you a quick little video at the end here of what it looks like with that stuff removed. All right, got some stuff cleaned up. This angle iron that used to stick out about 2 inches on each side, I kind of just cut it down shorter. It's still there, functional, so that I can put a solid metal pole across to block up the loader arms if needed. I was able to get the welds cut and grind down both sections here. There was that smushed pipe that was on here. It looked like crap. And then this piece that was on the front, it used to stick out probably about this far. It had that excuse me, pipe coming up. So for now, I cut it short and I drilled a hole in here and put a shackle on, because I think that's going to be the most handy thing for me as far as lifting stuff. These welds are they're all right. Once I can get this thing back around to the front of the driveway, I'll probably put some more on here just so that I know what I got for penetration. It looked like there's some heat from the other side, but if I'm going to be lifting stuff, I'd rather it be on my weld than someone else's. So that's it. Just kind of cleaned up some things. Obviously the muffler's on there now, and it seems to work pretty good. So one of these days I'll get out here. I really need to just get through with like a screwdriver and just start chipping off all the old caked up grease and just straight nastiness on here, and eventually get it out and pressure wash it. There's a lot of mud and stuff down here, and undercarriage, and I can't see everything there. I want to look for any kind of cracks or breaks or anything. Plus I need to be able to do maintenance on here. All these rollers have there's Zerk fittings on there, but you're not supposed to put grease in there. It's supposed to be oil. So I got there's a button head adapter. Basically, you'll fill a grease gun with oil, and this button head kind of slides on there and keeps it on there while you put oil in instead of grease. So anyway, we need to do that, because who knows the last time any of this has been done. This track is a little bit lower than the other side, so I might need to tension that up a bit. And like I said, I think I'm gonna end up moving this battery into the toolbox here. I don't know if I'm just gonna route the cables around. I really don't want to drill into this if I don't have to, but I don't know, maybe there's something down here I can find. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Got the muffler on, got those metal pieces off that I didn't want. Just kind of tinkering around. Weather's starting to get warmer, so like I said, I just want to kind of stack some of these videos up. I need to get into the Bobcat and get the engine pulled out, get it back up on cribbing, get the tires pulled, and start wire wheeling down, at least so I can get the frame into primer. And same thing, I've got the loader arms back here and these side panels. Lots of grinding to do. I don't know, I might drop some off at the sandblaster, we'll see. But I need to start at least getting it down to bare metal and primed, so that when I do get a good warm day, I can go ahead and shoot some paint. We can start getting this thing back together and kind of make that final determination if we're going to keep it or if we're going to sell it. But I think we're going to end up selling it free up some funds for the Oliver, get the Kubota painted, get back on that International Cub Cadet roller. I know that's a project that a lot of people wanted to see, so we'll get going on that. Kind of got a lot of irons in the fire right now and just kind of trying to prioritize what I want to do first. I know that roller is going to take a lot of time, which is fine, but that's why I want to get the skid steer done, just so we can get that moved and out of here, free up some room, free up some funds, and get it so we can get some more projects going. So, all right, we'll catch you in the next one.